Hello, today's daily reading comes from the book of the Apocrypha. We are reading Enoch chapter 45, and it reads as follows. And this is the second parable concerning those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and the Lord of spirits. And into the heaven they will not ascend, and on the earth they will not come. Such will be the lot of sinners who have denied the name of the Lord of spirits, who are therefore preserved for the day of suffering and tribulation. On that day, mine elect one will sit on the throne of glory and will try their works, and their places of rest will be innumerable. And their souls will grow strong within them when they see mine elect ones and those who have called upon my glorious name. Then will I cause mine elect one to dwell among them, and I will transform the heaven and make it an eternal blessing and light, and I will transform the earth and make it a blessing, and I will cause mine elect ones to dwell upon it. But the sinners and evildoers will not set foot thereon, for I have provided and satisfied with peace my righteous ones, and have caused them to dwell before me. But for the sinners there is judgment impending with me, so that I will destroy them from the face of the earth. Chapter 46. And there I saw one who had a head of days, and his head was white like wool, and with him was another being whose countenance had the appearance of a man, and his face was full of graciousness, like one of the holy angels. And I asked the angel who went up with me and showed me all the hidden things concerning that Son of Man, who he was, and from where he was, and why he went with the head of days. And he answered and said unto me, This is the Son of Man who has righteousness, with whom dwells righteousness, and who reveals all the treasures of that which is hidden, because the Lord of spirits has chosen him, and whose lot has the preeminence before the Lord of spirits and uprightness forever. And this Son of Man whom you have seen will raise up the kings and the mighty from their seats, and the strong from their thrones, and will loosen the reins of the strong, and break the teeth of the sinners. And he will put down the kings from their thrones and kingdoms, because they do not exalt and praise him, nor humbly acknowledge from where the kingdom was bestowed upon them. And he will put down their countenance of the strong, and will fill them with shame. And darkness will be their dwellings, and worms will be their bed, and they will have no hope of rising from their beds, because they do not extol the name of the Lord of spirits, and raise their hands against the Most High, and tread upon the earth, and dwell upon it, and all their deeds manifest unrighteousness, and their power rests upon their riches, and their faith is in the gods which they have made with their hands, and they deny the name of the Lord of spirits, and they persecute the houses of his congregations, and the faithful who is hang upon the name of the Lord of spirits. Chapter 47. And in those days will have ascended the prayer of the righteous and the blood of the righteous from the earth before the Lord of spirits. In those days the holy ones who dwell above the heavens will unite with one voice and supplicate and pray, and praise and give thanks and bless the name of the Lord of spirits on behalf of the blood of the righteous which has been shed, and that the prayer of the righteous may not be in vain before the Lord of spirits, that judgment may be done unto them, and that they may not have to suffer forever. In those days I saw the head of days when he seated himself upon the throne of his glory, and the books of the living were opened before him, and all his host was is in heaven above, and his counselors stood before him. And the hearts of the holy were filled with joy, because the number of the righteous had been offered, and the prayer of the righteous had been heard, and the blood of the righteous been required before the Lord of spirits. Chapter 48. And in that place I saw the fountain of righteousness, which was inexhaustible, and around it were many fountains of wisdom. And all the thirsty drank of them, and were filled with wisdom, and their dwellings were with the righteous and the holy and elect. And at that hour that Son of Man was named in the presence of the Lord of spirits, and his name before the head of days. Yea, before the sun and the signs were created, before the stars of heaven were made, his name was named before the Lord of spirits. He will be a staff before the Lord of spirits. He will be a staff to the righteous, on which to stay themselves and not fall. And he will be the light of the Gentiles and the hope of those who are troubled of heart. All who dwell on earth will fall down and worship before him, and will praise and bless and celebrate with the song the Lord of spirits. And for this reason has he been chosen and hidden before him, before the creation of the world and forevermore. And the wisdom of the Lord of spirits has revealed him to the holy and righteous, for he has preserved the lot of the righteous, because they have hated and despised this world of unrighteousness, and have hated all its works and ways in the name of the Lord of spirits. For in his name they are saved, and according to his good pleasure has it been in regard to their life. In these days, downcast in countenance will the kings of the earth have become, and the strong who possess the land because of the works of their hands. For in the days of their anguish and affliction, they will not be able to save themselves, and I will give them over into the hands of mine elect, as straw in the fire, so will they burn before the face of the holy. As lead in the water will they sink before the face of the righteous, and no trace of them will any more be found. And on the day of their affliction there will be rest on the earth, and before them they will fall and not rise again, and there will be no one to take them with his hands and raise them, for they have denied the Lord of spirits and his anointed. The name of the Lord of spirits be blessed. Amen.